Hello, welcome back to Press and Play. Welcome if it's your first time. Today I am doing a retro robot press-on nail set. This is fully inspired from like all those really cool posters of the retro robot thing, the colors, the idea. Yeah, so I am basically taking the art gels that I use a lot. I think they're the Born Pretty art gels, and I'm using them to actually make the background because I didn't have an orange gel polish. So I took that and I mixed it with some white from that same set to kind of give it more of that like retro orange, and this stuff works fine for doing like background color, doing a full nail. It's a little thick, it's the only thing, so you kind of have to be careful how you spread it out. The only color that I'm using that is not part of that set is the blue I'm going to be using, and that is from a BEETLES set that I have. It's actually the same color I used on the Dragon Eye. I just mixed it with the white from this Born Pretty set. You can see there my palette. So I will say it's a more simple set, but for me, line work is a challenge. I am very much a beginner in line work, and the struggle is real, especially because I shake, so I have to stabilize, so I kind of have to come at it from a specific angle to keep my hand steady. But it is something, I do feel like I've improved, but I still have like miles and miles to go as far as my line work. This is a chrome from, I think this is Macart. I'll look it up and I will put it in the description box. But I like it, works really well. It's honestly very satisfying to work with. You do have to be kind of careful because it can get streaky, but I think that's just the nature of working with like a chrome like that, or working with like a metallic color. It's gonna show brush strokes, but you can kind of smooth it out, minimize it a bit. And I'm doing 2 coats of everything, just to make sure everything's super duper opaque. I'm sorry if you can hear my fan, but it's still hot. So I've got my windows closed, so outside noise isn't recorded, but I can't live without the fan. It's just, I would die. So I hope it's not coming through too much. How's everyone's summer going? I hope it's really lovely for you. I didn't end up going to the Seafood Fest just because of what happened on Saturday. I just kind of felt like staying inside, and I don't know, I got paranoid. I have anxiety, so like any kind of outside violence, so to speak, without like getting into anything like too graphic, because it's a lovely nail channel and we're just here to relax, but those kind of things trigger me. So I was like, I don't need seafood, it's fine, I'm good here. And we hung out, and we picked up some fun drinks and a few snacks and watched a movie, and it was still a really nice Saturday. But I just decided public outing, skip, pass. Here I am using that same chrome liner, and I'm flashing a lot in between all of my work because I know I'm gonna have to like wipe things off and try again, especially when it has to do with line work for me. And I did set some little mini guidelines trying to figure out where I wanted this to land. What I'm doing is kind of creating like an antenna with like its own little satellites. And this is like one of those things where you can tell, like I definitely have a lot of room for improvement as far as my line work. And I keep kind of playing between a longer brush and a shorter brush because, you know, some people say, oh, it's so much easier with a long brush, but I find for me, generally a shorter brush, I have a little bit more control, unless I'm doing like a long line. But for stuff like this, it's much easier for me to have a little tiny brush. I think like even this one was too long for what I was trying to do for me personally, at least at my skill level. I'm sure at some point when I'm more confident and I feel like I have more control over my brush, I'll be able to do better lines and do them in one stroke. Not there yet. So it's a lot of me just kind of playing and trying to figure it out. But that chrome is so satisfying to paint with. It's just, I don't know, there's something about that like liquid metal look that is just so nice to work with. Here I'm just creating my little top of my antenna. I will say I kind of wish that on this set I did not add the 3D, or on this nail that I didn't add the 3D gel. It's kind of one of those things, like I look at this nail and like I almost redid it, but then I was like, I actually brought the whole set out to my husband because he's extremely like observant and critical, and he is not shy about being like, why didn't you do this, or maybe you should do this. So I didn't say anything about this nail, and he didn't say anything about it. So I was like, okay, well maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm the one that's having the moment about this nail. But what I'm doing is I'm adding the line, and I'm actually adding more on the front part of the satellite so that it looks like it's stepping forward, and then less on the back part so it looks like it's receding, if that makes sense. Like it still has texture, it's still popping off the nail, but I want it to look like it's going behind the pole, so it's not as high up as that, and it's not as high up as the front of that because that's going in front of the pole. So, and I build it up quite a bit, like after I flash it I keep adding more to the front once I get everything down, so I can kind of gauge where things are. But like that part of the pole is going underneath the top satellite, so I'm trying to create some dimension with that. It's not bad with the 3D gel, it's just like, I think for this set, especially being the retro kind of vibe, I think flat works. I think like having maybe a little round bump here and there, like I would have put the 3D gel on the little top ball on there for sure still, but I wouldn't have done all this, I don't think. I think I would have just done maybe a little bit of like line art on it, like maybe some black to kind of punch it up at the bottom, or I don't know. But it's one of those things, it's already done, it's here. So you can let me know what you think when you see it all put together, if you like it with the 3D gel. Yeah. But here I'm just kind of adding that around the back of it, and then I will build up a little bit more in the front to really give it some punch so it looks like it's standing out. there, I'm actually trying to like tuck it underneath the satellite so you can really see it like look like it's tucking under, if that makes sense. And then I'm just giving another little quick layer of gel to the front piece here just to really pop it out. Didn't go too heavy with the 3D elements in this just because my last few videos have been very, very 3D heavy, which I love doing. I like sculpting stuff, so but I thought, you know, with those, like the posters, which I actually really want one for my house. It's all the colors I love. I love like this teal. I love the orange next to it. It sings to me. I am very attracted to these colors and this like retro feel. But I want some of those posters. They're so cool, but they're very, you know, I mean, they're posters and they're very geometric and they're simple, or I should say deceptively simple, but like very geometric shaped, very like matte, which is another thing. I kind of wish I would have made the background, except for this nail, everything that's not metallic, or like the center of the nail, the actual piece, whatever it is. I wish I would have matted them out. If I redo this set, I will definitely do the background matte, because I think that really like speaks to the time when you think of like this like 60s retro futuristic feel. It's you know, it's kind of like it's kind of not pastel, but like dulled out bright colors. I'm not sure if I'm like saying that right, but like the teals got that like matte feel to it, and same with the orange, and I think that's like what's missing for me on this. And here I'm just making like, you know, just like handles. I could have probably done like bolt like cuts in it, in the circles, excuse me. But I opted for making like a little white shine on everything instead of doing a bolt. I think the bolt would have been cute. But here I'm just adding a little shine to the knobs or bolts, or what is it called, like a rivet in metal. I'm not sure. That sounds right to me. It's my video, so yeah, that's right. No, I really don't know. And then here I'm just adding some shine into that black. And this I do struggle quite a bit with and have to wipe off a few times, because getting it thin enough and not crooked it was a little bit of a challenge. There were a lot of deep breaths for me in this video, and like even some moments where I just kind of got up and had to like walk away for a minute and then come back. Like it's so much easier for me to sculpt things than to paint straight lines. So, and that's, I think, just a matter of practice and just keep going and not giving up. But I have so much respect for people that are good with their line work, and I watch people make these like amazing like cartoon characters, and they're just so detailed, and their hands are so steady, and they're just it's like a joy to watch and a goal to have, but I am not there. So far from that, as you see. Like, what straight line? This curve? No. But I think it does get there. And I didn't edit all of it out. I edited quite a bit of it out in all the nails. But I did want to show, like, just, you know, if you're making your own nails and you're just starting, you know, sometimes you're going to wipe things off like 372 times, and that's fine. It's totally fine. It's one of those things, like in pottery, they say make 100 cups. And I kind of feel like that's kind of the same thing here as far as line work. You just have to just do it, and just do it a lot, and then eventually your hand will catch up with your brain. And I think any practiced art form is the same way. You just have to keep on doing it. Make 100 cups, and eventually, like, your cup is going to be amazing. Amazing. So that's my hope here. That's the hope and the dream. So and you get to see that as I work my way through the line work in this. And here I'm making kind of like a dial. Like, it makes me think of like the radiation dials, which also brings me into that time of, like, you know, it's like all the atom bomb testing and all of that went along with that time. All the in our case, retro, futuristic, you know, the World's Fair and all of those things. Like here in Seattle, the Space Needle's got that like retro futuristic vibe, and our monorail. So, which is just, I love it. It's like, it's so optimistic. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, we were going to have flying cars. Like, I think maybe a few years ago, we should have already had like we should all be in our flying cars with our robot house keepers, and, you know, our ovens that you push a button and it just makes the food for you, like, just, you know, from nothing, from air. So there's something about that just I'm attracted to. And here I'm just putting the background color into the dial. And here I'm cleaning this up. And as I'm cleaning it up, I just wipe away the roundness that I had been working so hard. You can see me like, it's like, what curve? We're not making a curve. So I had to put it back in there. If I'm showing too much of, like, my struggles and it's annoying, would you please let me know, because I can very easily cut it out and just get you right to where it finishes. My thought in sharing it is just because I know I can't be the only one struggling, and, you know, so many videos you just see people just doing amazing, perfect stuff, and it might be that they don't struggle in the same way, and they're not editing it out, it's just perfect. But if people are struggling, a lot of times you don't really see a lot of that. So if that is something you enjoy, or if it's something that you're like, I could do without, I would love some input on that, because it's easy enough for me to just cut it out of the video. And here I am adding the inside part of that dial, where the actual meter is going to show. But yeah, looking at all these, like, I would have loved to have a matte background and then leave this like this shiny, like it was under glass, as it would be. but that orange would look so killer. I don't have a matte that I trust enough to actually be the look of the nail. The one I'm using right now, it's more satiny, and it's not consistent. Like there'll be like spots that like you can see the shine still come through. On the Dragon set, I did 2 coats of the matte, and it still had like shine on it. So I'm shopping now, not right this second, but I'm watching the Prime sale. I'm gonna do a Prime haul. I've got quite a few good little nail supplies and fun things that I'll unbox. But I'm hoping like a good matte coat might come up. I don't know. I do have one that I haven't tried in my collection that I completely forgot about, but I have a BEETLES matte coat, and I need to play with that and see if that gives me a better result than the Model 1 matte coat that I'm using right now. But it would be nice. I don't know if it's possible to have like a chalky, like full matte coat unless you're spending like $20 on it, and I'm not quite there of spending $20 on one bottle of something yet. I don't feel like I'm, without sounding weird, deserve it yet. Like I haven't worked to that place yet. I feel like I'm still learning everything, so it's good to have stuff that's like on the cheaper end, and not quite invest into all my polishes at this point. I know at some point I will. I know it. I know myself, but I don't feel like I'm there. So I'm still looking for like all the like bargain product lines. And I think you can do quite well with that. I mean, I'm having mostly good luck with stuff I'm finding on Shein and Amazon, but I know for certain specialty things I'm probably going to have to step up in price. So, but if you have any recommendations for a good, inexpensive matte top coat, I'm listening. Here I've switched to a shorter line brush, and I definitely have more control, I feel. It's way easier for me to get where I'm going with it. But honestly, the secret to success for me right now is a lot of flash curing, so that when I have a moment, because usually it's like I get stuck on something, like it's like I'm working on a line and I just can't get that line to go, and it takes me like 30 times, and it's not like it's any different than any other line, but it's just that line is decided that that's the one I'm not going to be able to do without doing it 30 times. There I just did some dots of the chrome again for some little buttons underneath. This is so satisfying. I'm making the robot face here, and the way that this lays down, it's like oily in a way. I don't know how to describe it other than that. It does like actually look like you're laying down like an oil metal, and it's just so nice to paint with. There's something really satisfying about it. It's just very, very thin, and the way it doesn't have any kind of pull against the nail. Like it just glides. It's really lovely to work with. This I believe I got in a set too that had like a rose gold and then a regular gold. I'll find it and I will put this in the description box, because this stuff is wonderful. It is messy just getting it started, like getting the lid off. Like you will spread silver or gold or whatever all over the place, just peeling, like using the knife and like cutting off the foil. It's a mess, but worth it. Completely worth it. No regrets. But yeah, like imagine that silver on a fully matte background. Oh, that would pop so nicely. That would be stunning. Next time, because I think I probably will redo this set. I'll probably come back to this set unless somebody I know wants me to make it for them in like a year when my line skills are better, just to see if I can like improve it. Because I know, like, I like this idea. I got there, but I want more. I'm not fully satisfied with it. It's good. It's cute. Like, if I saw somebody else's set with this, I would like it too. But I know, like, what was in my head, I want a little bit more. So, yeah. I think I can improve on it when my skills are better, and I will do it on a matte background. I was telling my family the day before I did this that I was going to do a retro robot, and everybody, like, individually was like, the Jetsons? Which, you know, I mean, how can you not think of the Jetsons? But I mean, yeah, that's like, you know, everything kind of looks like a toaster oven, and everything has satellites, so basically that's fully the vibe of that, like, retro futuristic style. So I'm kind of excited. One of my favorite nail artists that I watch, Miss Jo's Nails, she's talking about doing like a nails and books, and I'm really excited because I usually, while I'm working, have videos on at the same time, and she's got this amazing voice, and she's super funny, and she's really talented. She can do line work like a mofo. But she's talking about doing like kind of simple nail designs and reading a book, and I'm really excited. I'm like, please, please, please do it. Please do it, because that would be so awesome to hear. Like, combining that, I was actually thinking about audiobooks while I'm working, because it's hours of sitting and doing a set sometimes. So I usually put on like Bailey Sarian, or I'll put on something like a documentary about somebody interesting. I had Courtney Love on for part of this, her documentary, or her, like, somebody doing her story. She's fascinating. But I'm like, yes, come on, Joe, make those videos, because I will be watching for sure. I doubt she's watching my videos, but if she does, if she sees this, like, please, please, please make those videos. Just for me. It's all about me. Here I am making a little panel box. And I'm using, this is the black from that set too as well. This is all, I didn't use the McCart Noir, which I just stayed right in this set for everything except for that blue and silver. But I ordered some like gears thinking for like a steampunk. And so they're kind of a bronzy color, like gold leaning bronze. And so I decided to paint them silver with that chrome. And I would say if you're going to do something like that, move them before you flash them or you cure them. Just move them from the spot, because I had quite a bit of cleanup to do on that set, on the little gears that I picked. And you'll see me I show a little bit of it, of the cleanup, just as a cautionary note. But it did work out quite well. So if you have a charm that you love, but it's the wrong color, I mean, you have paint. So there's no reason. I'm kind of trying to use the things I have and not overbuy. It's easy to do because like nail supplies are fun to buy. So, and I like to shop anyway. But I don't want to end up with a whole bunch of things I don't use just for the sake of buying them, or like getting sucked into something, or I want it in this color. I'm trying to work with what I have, even though I am going to do a Prime unboxing, so I am still shopping. But even in that, I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, do I have something that would work for this instead of buying 100 of the same thing but in different colors? Can I fix it to make it work? Can I make the charm myself in the first place? Do I need that specific thing? Like I saw some really cute cherries, but I'm like, I can paint cherries and then add 3D clay or 3D liner gel to it and create that same thing, as cute as they were. And just having like a little box of mini cherries is very tempting just for that alone. But so here's that. They look more gold, but they do kind of have like that almost green of like the bronziness, like the patina. It's subtle. It shows more in real life. But anyway, this is the set of gears that I thought were really cute and super perfect, just the wrong color. And here I'm just using that same chrome silver gel. And I did try to like move them over a little bit with my brush, but it was like getting so messy. If I knew then what I ended up dealing with, I would have just picked them up and moved them. So here I'm trying to, but it's like, it's not quite working. I'm making more of a mess, so I'm like, But I would have. And I suggest if you do something like this to pick them up and move them off, because see, they're stuck and there's going to be kind of some cleanup there. And luckily, I have like a little pokey tool. They're so small, like trying to pick them up and poke them at the same time was a wee bit of a challenge. But you can see it kind of cured and altered the shape a bit. Pokey tool to the rescue. This actually is one of my favorite nails in this set. Super simple, but just really cute. Something about little gears. I don't know, little things in general kind of melt my heart. So little teeny tiny gears, it's really cute. I like it. I'm just kind of trying to bend them. They bend fairly easily though, to like get them to be round. I did bend the top one, and actually that one a little bit too, to get that to kind of hug the nail, and those are easy to bend, which is nice. Now we're gonna top coat. Really like that chrome. It's really pretty. I need to play with that underneath some cat eye. I think that would be really pretty. And the ears. And I do make sure to really coat those guys really well so they're in the nail. You can still feel them a bit, but there's nothing like sharp. And then I decided that needed something. That I think that nail just was bothering me, so like I am happy that I added the black outline to everything. I'm sorry it's blurry. I did a pretty good job of keeping things in the right place, but I felt like it just wasn't like, it needed something that like the cartoon-ish kind of element that the rest of the nails had. Something to kind of anchor it in a way, because it just didn't have that same feel. I would 100% redo this and not do the 3D gel on the actual antenna. I would still do it on the ball because I do think that's really cute and I like the way that looks. But I think that going back, I will skip doing the 3D gel. I don't know. Let me know. Tell me, would you skip it? Did it work for you? It's hard to know with your own work because, I mean, we are the most critical of our own work. And there, I top coated, but I also made sure not to let the pieces get drowned out by the top coat. And that's the finished set. What do you think? Do you like it? I like it. I would say it's not my favorite set I've ever made. I think it can be better. I like the vibe. I know what I want, and I'm very picky, especially about my own work. So, I don't know. Let me know. Tell me what you think. I might revisit this sooner rather than later. I'm not sure. But yeah, thanks for coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I thank you for being here. I will see you next time. Bye.